Where political tensions are rising over proposed local government elections. The Edo State People's Democratic Party on Monday condemned the move by the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission to hold the local government elections in July 2026. On December 19th, the Edo State House of Assembly, led by Blessing Agbebaku, dismissed the chairman of all 18 local government areas in the state following directives from the state governor, Monday Okpebholo. The State Assembly further instructed the leaders of legislative arms in each council to assume leadership responsibilities. However, the chairman approached the High Court in Benin and the removal was declared illegal. They also ordered their reinstatement, which has been ignored by the state government. The People's Democratic Party has rejected the planned polls, citing what it calls a fundamental, unfair electoral process. Join us this morning to discuss this is Special Advisor on Legal Matters to the Governor of Edo State, Honorable Andrew Emwata. Good morning, Honorable Emwata, and thanks for joining us on Breakfast Central. Now let's talk.
Good morning. It's
yes.
a pleasure to be here, and good morning to our viewers at home.
Good morning, and great to have you join us again. Now, is the PDP's rejection of these polls that have been proposed for July 2026, is it a genuine concern for electoral fairness or strategic move to undermine APC's growing influence in Edo State?
I think it's a fundamental move to undermine influence on the APC. If you look at the last by-elections conducted by INEC, PDP performed very poorly across the various local governments in Edo Central where the election took place. And even in the Ovia Federal constituency, that was their worst performance so far in the history of our state. Indeed, it was a political bloodbath, and the Edo people spoke very loudly and clearly. So I think it is that same phobia, of losing the by-elections that has now informed their decision to boycott. And that's why that word exists in the political lexicon, in the dictionary, boycott. It's a way of expressing, your disagreement with a particular process. And if they boycott, it does not affect the process. The timetable has been released by the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission. And I think it's good to put these issues here they have raised in perspective. First, these councillors refused to take up their seats. Some of them were suspended after some time. They were told to come back. In my local government, for instance, I even personally reached out to 5 of those councillors. One of them is from my ward. I know the role I played when I was in PDP in sponsoring him to run for that seat. As I speak to you, he's in Canada. There's a ward that you represent, but you choose to go to Canada. So what now happens to the mandate given to you? They abdicated their mandate, and that is what informed the decision of the various leaders of these legislative councils to say, come, we have these vacant seats, in line with the provisions of Section 16A of the local government law. One such vacancy exists, and again, for you to be absent from your duty, it must be with just cause. And if you're absent for more than 1/3 of the normal period the council is to sit in a year, the leader of the house has the power of declaring such seats vacant. And that is what happened. And of course, Section 16 also allows the House of Assembly by resolution to call on the state INEC to conduct by-elections, which of course the House of Assembly has done. So I think it's a process, a democratic process, and PDP is just crying wolf when there's actually none.
Seems that the local government chairmen that were suspended went to the courts and they got a High Court order mandating the state government to reinstate them, and the issue is that the state government is not complying with the court order. Can you clear the air on that?
There were 2 things that happened. On the 17th of December last year, they were suspended, as you noted, but these same people were subsequently impeached. The suspension case, which was at the Federal High Court, that was involved in that case, the court dismissed it, or rather the court struck it out, because the court said it didn't have jurisdiction over the issues that were enumerated, namely, in view of the parties, Inspector General of Police and the other. So the court now ordered that the case should be transferred to the High Court. Nothing has been said about that. So for the impeachment cases, of course, it happened across 17 local governments. And as you have noted, in 1 or 2 places, they got the High Court judgment. And it does not end there. The other side applied for stay of proceedings, and that will not prevent the local government from carrying out their duties. Remember, it is not the chairmanship elections that we're talking about. We're talking of councillors who abdicated their duties whose seats are vacant, that matter as we speak is not sub judice, not before any court in the land.
And now let's talk about the proposed elections for July next year. Why are these elections very important to the people of Edo State?
Because it will provide an opportunity for Edo people to express themselves in terms of who they want to represent them at the grassroots level. And in view of local government autonomy, it still goes to this issue of accountability. Those local government chairmen who were removed, first by suspension and subsequently by impeachment, was because they misappropriated the commonwealth of our people. Imagine setting aside 800 million on a monthly basis under the very strange subhead environmental security. So we expect even a higher level of responsibility for those who are there now. Even for the councillors that will be elected, we expect them to hold their various local government chairmen to account. And I believe at that level, we'll be able to tell ourselves the truth. If next July, we have a new set of people coming, you know that it is at the level at which the people have placed them, the trust to which the people have placed them. And I expect PDP to start preparing, because the election, the primary elections will take place in November. I just hope they will not start this their new, style of lamenting, because that provides a fresh opportunity for all political parties, not just the PDP, the ADC, the Labour Party, and other parties. And I think July is enough time for them to prepare.
Emwata, we've seen a trend with regards to local government elections. Oftentimes, in the recent history of Nigeria, the ruling party in the states makes a clean sweep at the polls. Having said this, can the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission be trusted to conduct free and fair polls, especially after past controversies and critics saying that EDSEC is compromised and lacks independence to conduct these elections?
As we have it in Nigeria, whenever you have a ruling party, the chances of the ruling party winning the majority seats in the local government election is there. Just use the recently conducted River State local government election as a case study. You have a PDP governor, though on suspension, then APC had a clean sweep. And as such, I don't think Edo can be an exception, because it is a trend. No government with power will want to lose an election, so they do everything within the law to ensure that they win the election. And if you ask me, EDSEC will do their work as an independent electoral commission, and as a political party, the APC, will field our best candidates, will put our best foot forward, and we want to have a very good outing in the July election. We expect to win the 18 local governments, which of course, when PDP were there, they did the same. So it will not be an exception in our case, but we will continue to campaign to our people. And I think everything will be on the basis of the performance of our governor, because the states tend to have an illocal parentis control over local government. It is Section 7 of our Constitution that has made it so. It is the laws that give state governments the authority to superintend over the affairs of local government in an oversight manner, not in terms of control of their resources, because now that they enjoy autonomy, yes, they have financial autonomy, but they don't have political autonomy. They must still have some level of control. The House of Assembly still has that level of control. It is the Constitution that has made it so, and the Edo State local government law that has also made that so. So in our own case, this is one party that has complete dominance. You look at the National Assembly members in our dear state, APC members, PDP, as I speak to you, is dead in Edo State. So in what way and manner can they win elections? The recent by-election conducted by INEC, they performed very poorly. And we're expecting more victories for the APC in future elections, because the governor is doing very well. Just yesterday, he did a whole lot of inaugurations, inaugurated over 200 motorbikes, motorcycles, for security agencies to comb our bushes, to take out those killer, headsmen and kidnappers. Apart from that, environmental sanitation equipment, earth-moving vehicles were donated by the Edo State government to our state waste management board. And the promise is that Edo will be one of the cleanest states in Nigeria. The governor, of course, ensured that, the environmental sanitation that was cancelled for, close to a decade, he reintroduced it so that every Saturday in Edo, we'll keep our state clean. So that this one government that has given human face to governance, and why would this state government not superintend over one of the freest and fairest elections if we have the mandate of the people? You can only rig elections when you are not popular. You can only rig elections when you don't have any.
That brings me back.
If you are with the people, you don't need to rig elections. You allow the people to decide, because it is the people you seek to serve, and they are the ones that will be the ones to decide the fate of those seeking elective office.
And in allowing the people to decide, I want to take you back to my question, where you said the APC in Edo State is very popular and they are very likely to make a clean sweep. But let's go back to EDSEC. Regardless of your popularity, the electoral umpire in the principles of democracy has to be unbiased and independent. Does the independence how true is that independence in the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission? Is the APC in Edo State willing to make EDSEC more democratic in transparency and also inclusion, to make sure even the minority parties will have their say in giving it full democratic credentials and allowing it to be an independent electoral umpire come July 2026?
You know, you have nailed it in the head by saying that the issue of the independence of the EDSEC, it's a matter that, because there's nothing the APC can do as a party, but to believe that the members of EDSEC who have been appointed, people of integrity, they will do the right thing. You don't expect, as a political party, on the same pedestal with every other political party, even when you mention the smaller political parties, it is our wish to defeat them. Don't expect us to, we are not their mentors, as it were, so we expect all the political parties to come out campaigning. By the time the primaries are conducted, they put their best foot forward. Then, of course, there's time between November, you know, for substitution of candidates and all of that, and July, when the elections will take place. So these people to set themselves to Edo people. It is their duty to canvass votes. It is their duty to talk to the electorate, because it is the electorate that will decide who will rightly represent them at the various wards and at the local government council, both as local government chairman and vice chairman. It's not the duty of the ruling party. The duty of the ruling party is to participate in our election. And as I have earlier said, we are going to win across the 18 local governments in Edo State when the election comes up to the next year.
Now, finally,
we have performed as a government, and Edo people are pleased with what we are doing.
Now, finally, Honorable Emwata, before I let you go, I mean, between now and July 2026, how are the 18 local governments in Edo State supposed to feel the impact of governance, since the local governments are the closest to them? And the councillors, how are they supposed to feel the dividends of democracy at the grassroots level? What mechanisms are in place to make them trickle down to the ordinary people in Edo State?
Yeah, thank you. You know, that was our challenge. We didn't have councillors in some of the various wards. I think 66 wards, as I was informed. And imagine when you don't have representation in these 66 wards, it means that the people whose duty it was to bring development to these 66 wards were not there. So after the by-election, I expect more dividends, you know, because they will now work closely with the various local government chairmen in ensuring that democracy is felt at that grassroots level. And that is what democracy is, because once you have vacancies and those vacancies are not filled, those constituencies or those wards suffer. But I assure you that after the by-elections, there will be an improved service delivery at the local government level, because this is one governor that has had local government to function independent of what the state does. And I think it should be a complementary role. And moving forward, we expect more of that to happen, because some of these local government chairmen, I think they performed very well, and we expect them to even do more after the by-elections.
For your time and your insights this morning, Honorable Andrew Emwata. It was a pleasure speaking with you, a special advisor on legal matters to the Governor of Edo State, Governor Monday Okpebholo. Thank you.